Hey guys, how's it going? It's Target here. Welcome to the first episode of the Tampa Bay Lightning Be a GM. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what the heck happened with the Colorado Avalanche? Well, I made a boo-boo. I have my separate Be a GM that I play offline just for fun, and I accidentally saved over the Colorado one somehow. I don't know, I must have been in a rush to save the game, and I saved over it. I feel like a complete moron. It's a pain in the ass. I know. Things were just starting to get interesting. I know. We were just starting to rebuild. We had the possibility of getting Connor McDavid. I was so excited to move forward with that. But unfortunately, it's gone, and there's nothing I can do. I checked all the autosaves. They were all my other GMs, so I'm totally screwed on that. Really frustrated about it. But you know what? We get to turn a new leaf. We get to start with the team that was chosen second. It got second place in our vote, and that was the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we're going to be Tampa Bay. Now, just like last time with the Colorado Avalanche, we started things off by analyzing the team, see exactly where we stand. Are we a playoff contender? Where did the Tampa Bay Lightning fall in terms of contention, right? So let's do that first. Let's take a look at our contracts here. Contracts from our GM options. First off, I got everything set up, ready to go. So the nice thing about Tampa Bay is they already have a couple superstars in the works. Steven Stamkos is a current superstar, and Victor Hedman's going to be a future superstar. At $7.5 million for Steven Stamkos, an incredibly great value for him. Absolutely amazing. And look at his shot. He's got one of the best shots in the league. 94 wrist shot accuracy, 90 wrist shot power. He is elite. So it's nice to have Steven Stamkos around right there. Our second highest one is Victor Hedman. He's 4.5 yellow stars. 86 overall. He's a good body checker with 87 aggressiveness and 89 body checking. He's going to get way better. I mean, this guy's going to get to an 87, 89, 90 overall, and he's only 22 years old. And look at his size, 6'6", 233. He's a beast. Victor Hedman is definitely our defenseman of the future. All right. Now moving on down the lines, we got Brett Connolly, another sniper, of 4 green stars. So he's going to get there. He's going to be a nice, perhaps second line sniper for us. I don't like to put 2 snipers on the top line based on my rules, but you know what? We'll see how things go. Richard Panik, another sniper. So we got a lot of snipers in the system. He's a 4 yellow star. We can almost move some of these guys potentially for some playmakers, power forwards, just to spice it up a little bit. Keith Aulie, a defensive defenseman, 77 overall, 4 red stars. He could end up being an 81 overall. Depends on how quickly he goes up in the during the season and in next off season. I mean, he's nothing special, but he definitely has potential. With 2 years left, you never know what can happen. Radko Gudas, he's 23 years old, 76 overall, defensive defenseman, 3.5 yellow stars. Probably not going to get very far, but he's got good body checking. He could be a nice third pairing option for us down the stretch, and making only $9.90 this year, so that's really good value for him. Tom Pyatt, a two-way forward, center, 79 overall, 3.5 red stars. That's pretty much where he'll finish. He's the type of guy that centers a 4th line for you. I mean, and considering his contract too, $600,000, you really can't argue with that. That's good value. Alexander Killorn, a two-way forward, 3 yellow stars. Again, we're getting kind of in the bowels of the potential. He's got decent speed, not the best body checking or aggressiveness. I could definitely see him on his way out. He may not have much trade value, but he really doesn't provide too much of an option for me. In order for Killorn to actually make the team, he'd have to throw off Pyatt, but Pyatt's a good value, so we'll probably move Killorn. And then we move into the guys that don't have any more potential, like Martin Saint-Louis and Valtteri Filppula. Saint-Louis is 87 overall, and he's 38 years old, so that's a problem for him. He looked really good on that top line, but maybe we want to look for potential in the future. We could deal Martin Saint-Louis maybe for a guy that's a little bit less overall than him, but with 4.5 yellow star potential. A playmaker, you know, another playmaker. We'll see how things go. I do want to build this team like I did with Carolina. I want to have the player types. Somebody made fun of me for my player types, but hey, if you argue with Carolina's results in terms of what they put up every year in points and all that, it's pretty difficult. That was a solid team, and that was back in NHL 13 for those of you that didn't watch it, but we were an absolutely amazing team. So think about that before you start going judging it. Valtteri Filppula, 80 faceoffs, a good playmaking center of the second line. There's no doubt about it. They signed him as a free agent, so he's making $5 million a year over a long period of time, like till 2018-19. So we've got Filppula locked up for a while. Unfortunately, it's a long period of time that I don't really want him for. I would rather, that value at $5 million, that's what I pay a top line player, top young line player, you know, and he's I mean, he's good. He's a good second line option for us. There's no doubt about that. Let's go down. Let's break it down by overalls now at this point. Let's go centers. So a 1-2 punch of Stamkos and Filppula. Pyatt's definitely going to be a fourth liner. I don't want it to be a third liner. We may have to address something here because we're determining right now whether or not we're a playoff team or we are a rebuilding team or we're a cusp team. Somebody that will hold off to see where we end up at the trade deadline and we decide then if we're going to be buyers or sellers. So far, it looks like we'll probably be a playoff team judging by the elite star power we have. Left wingers, our only left winger is Ryan Malone, a power forward. Ryan Malone, I hate. He's so slow. He's solid on the puck. Like, you can't knock him off the puck very, very well. He's really solid because he's got really good balance and good aggressiveness and strength. So he holds onto that puck really well, even with low poke chucking. But I wouldn't put Ryan Malone on anything but the third line. Right wingers now, we got a couple of them. We got Martin Saint-Louis and we got Teddy Purcell. All right, and we got Brett Connolly and Richard Panik. We got a few players that are considered or that are right wingers. So we've got a plethora of right wing players. Potentially should move some of those for left wingers if we want to build this properly. Okay, defensemen. We got Victor Hedman. He's our number one, obviously. Matt Carl. You know what? Those two together as a top pairing are not bad this year. A two-way defenseman and a two-way defenseman. That's what I like to have in there. All right, we got Eric Brewer. He's a defensive defenseman, and Sammy Salo is a two-way. So, I mean, these guys are, like, Sammy Salo is old. He's not going to have any trade value. We might as well play him this year. Matthias Olin, a defensive defenseman, and Keith Ollie, a defensive defenseman. We don't have any offensive defensemen available to us. We may want to move Sammy Salo just for the sake of freeing up some cap space, even if it's for nothing, and then we can sign a free agent. That may be an option for us just because we don't have much room in the cap space. We're at 1.883, and Sammy Salo, if we just trade him away, they'll free us up a couple $1 million, or almost $4 million that we could spend on a free agent. Or, I mean, like, I don't know what's available in free agency anymore now that the rosters have all been updated, but whatever. Anders Lindback, 81 overall. Ben Bishop, 81 overall. Ben Bishop's 26-year-old, so we definitely have a problem here in goaltending. I'll take a look at the minor league system to see what we have, and Gudis. That's good enough. Let's take a look at the in the system. Let's see who's there for potential. We've got, obviously, Jonathan Drouin, 67 overall. He will be our elite sniper of the future. Him and Steven Stamkos. It's definitely an interesting dynamic. We may move Stamkos for a guy like Jonathan Toews if need be, but for now, because we've only got the top sniper, we'll need to keep him. So Jonathan Drouin's there in the future. Adam Ernie, 4.5 red stars, and then Nikita Kucherov, 4.5 red stars. These guys could get there, but they could spend a while in the system, especially Ernie, being that he's only 60 overall. Kucherov, 71 at least. He's on the cusp. And we got another two-way forward here that could make it. I mean, he's young. He's 18 years old. And Kucherov is 20, so he does have that advantage on him. Slater Cuckoo, that was... Slater Cuckoo's a guy that we could potentially keep on our system. I mean, he's 4 yellow stars. I don't see Cuckoo going anywhere. That's the guy that I couldn't get his name right. Vladislav Nemistikov, he is a 4-star yellow, or 4 yellow star centerman. 60 faceoffs, a playmaker. Not really something I think I could use. I mean, really, that's Valtteri Filppula in a nutshell, but with worst faceoffs. Worst face-offs. That's the word I'm looking for. Andre Palat. This is the guy that Tampa Bay was utilizing towards the end there as a playmaker. 4.5 green stars. He gets to about an 83 overall. I think we're going to keep him. He might be a nice option on our third line, or our second line eventually. That second line of Palat, depending on how things go with, what's his name? Filppula. Depending on how things go with Filppula, Palat, Filppula, and Brett Connolly would be a really, really nice second line option. Tyler Johnson, he's a 3.5 yellow star center, 2-way forward, 60 faceoffs. Again, these guys don't have any business playing center if they've only got 60 faceoffs. It's just not good enough. You need to be about 68, 70 roughly in order to be any kind of a competitive team. So Johnson probably won't find his way onto our team at all. Andre Suster, 4.5 yellow stars, 77. He's there. He's almost there. It looks like he's got some decent body checking. A decent shot for his overall, and he's 6'8", 225 pounds. He's a big boy. There's no doubt about it. We got some big defensemen on this team. Let's see here. 4.5 red stars from Dana Tyrell, a 77 overall forward. 70 faceoffs aren't bad, I guess. Not bad, but he's not exactly big. He's kind of, what's his name? Pyatt in a nutshell is pretty much what he is. Let's see, anybody else? Not really anybody else worth mentioning. Probably not. Let me take a look at goalies. We have one, Hellenius, but he's really not going to make it anywhere. He's 25 years old, 75 overall. I mean, he could jump up to an 80 next year, you know, in the offseason. But right now, we do not have a goalie, and that could be an issue for us. We might have to focus on the draft here. So, yeah, that's just not good enough. Okay, let's pop out of this. I'm just going to go into GM Tracker. Let's see if we can adjust anything. So we're not going to put anything onto medical because we don't need it. Okay, so level 1 Pro Scout provides poorly researched information about the results of the prospects game. I don't think we really need that right now. Assistant coach provides poor recommendations on what to do when faced by an injury. Let's just throw it on there, I guess. We're not going to be facing... Pro Scout. Injury. Okay, good enough. Doesn't really matter that much. Let me take a look here. I'm going to go to coaching options. We're going to edit our lines. I'm going to show you what it's like right now. Okay, so remember my system. 2 playmakers and a sniper is a good combination for your lines. All right, I think we can all agree with that. I use the NHL Hut chemistry guide in order to actually achieve these player types. See how they do together. So a power forward, a playmaker, and a sniper don't necessarily play very well together. The only ones that play well together are playmaker, power forward, and a two-way forward. We don't really have a two-way forward to play for us. So, I mean, Brett Connolly, he's really not quite there yet. We could trade, but we don't have those options available to us. So that line is not up to snuff. But if we did this, like this, we find another second line left winger, perhaps a playmaker. Those are pretty easy to come by. And a two-way forward, a power forward, and we got a playmaker on this line right here, a third line playmaker. We might be able to do something here. Oh, hold on. We got to do roster moves. We don't have enough players up. We got a defenseman in here. Hold on. Let's see who's next overall. Tyrell, two-way forward. Pallet. We could bring up Pallet. All right, just for the sake of this. Let's switch. We'll edit the lines again. Best lines. Okay, so Pallet, Thompson, and I would actually do this. Let's put Pallet here, and let's put Malone here, okay? And then we could do a playmaker, a sniper, and we would need another playmaker, so like I said. So Panic, we'll just put him down here with this here. Two-way forward, and another two-way forward would be a nice option for us. Or this Crombean is being a grinder. You know what? He could play for the third line there. And we could find another grinder here for this line. Or another two-way forward. So we need to find another grinder or two-way forward. So we do need to take a look at free agency. But this line is good right here. That works well enough for me. This line works really well for me. Purcell, Martin St. Louis, and Steven Stamkos. And then that second line, a playmaker, sniper. We'd like to get another playmaker right here. Would be a nice option for us. We don't have much cap space. Let's take a look at defense. Two-way. We'd like to get rid of Sammy Salo for a potential offensive defenseman. And we'd like to get rid of... What's Oland like? We could get rid of Matthias Oland for another offensive defenseman. So Salo and Oland would probably go for offensive defenseman, just to add a little bit of spice in there. And then the power play, good enough offense. So areas that we need to address if we keep the team like this, all right? So this is the key here. So we need to find a second line playmaker. All right, this is if we're going to be a contention team. Second line playmaker to play the left wing. Left wing, okay? And then we also need to find a fourth line. Left wing grinder or right wing two-way forward. Okay, so that's what we need to find basically. I could probably bring somebody up to play that two-way forward position, but I don't have another grinder, I don't think. Let me take a look. Let's see what I've got down in the... This is low. Where's player type? Here we go. Oh, I do have another grinder. Hold on. We got a couple grinders. All these guys. Oh, we got quite a few grinders. Let's see who's best overall. Probably nobody. Nobody worth mentioning, that's for sure. Oh, hold on. Lee. Oh, he's a two-way defenseman. Never mind. This is your only other grinder. These guys here. So nobody worth mentioning. So yeah, we would need to find that fourth line grinder, left wing grinder, or right wing two-way forward to really balance that out. On defense, though, we would need to move Salo for offensive defenseman. And then we would need to move Oland for offensive defenseman. Okay, so that basically, you know, just to give you guys an idea. That's if we're a rebuilding team or a competitive team. If we're a rebuilding team, Martin St. Louis is going to go for a future playmaker, somebody that's probably like 83, 84 overall. It'd be a playmaker, though. And we would probably move, I don't know. We really don't have too much in terms of who I'd like to give up that are older players that have value. Steven Stamkos, no, we're going to keep him because he's part of the future for sure, at least for the next 5 to 6 years. So I don't see any point of getting rid of him. Filppula could be moved for a not as good playmaker. He's probably got some trade value. Actually, we should probably look at that. Matt Carl could be moved for a potential two-way defenseman. And let's see, goaltending. We could move both goalies for a goalie of the future type thing, but there's really not much out there. There is really not much out there. Our goaltending situation is hurting. So, 2 things before I wrap this video up, that's for sure. We're gonna take a look at the trade value of our team. Who's the highest value? So let's go into trade, and let's see who's got the highest value for us. Obviously, it's Steven Stamkos, but so Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Drouin, Brett Connolly's got good trade value. Victor Hedman, Martin St. Louis decent. Filppula. See, Filppula and Martin St. Louis could be dealt for some potential players if we want to. I think I'd rather move St. Louis first, and then we'll move Filppula. That way our team's not hurting too much, you know. And if we are a rebuilding team, we can also move these guys at the trade deadline. That's an option for us as well. So really keep that in mind. I think Palat is going to be with us, so I'm going to keep him. Anybody young would not be tradable. Panic is young. Brewer would be gone. Sammy Salo would be gone. We'd keep Ollie. We're going to keep Kucherov and Ernie. We're going to hang on to them. Matthias Oland, we get rid of him. All these old guys. So that's basically the trade value of those guys. Now, what I wanted to check was, what was it again? Shoot, what was I going to check? So there was the trade value. What was I going to check? I don't remember what it was anymore. My goodness, feels silly. I just said it. Let's go back to the coaching options. Let's go to edit lines. That's where I was. Wasn't I when I was trying to figure things out? I don't remember what it was anymore. Anyway. I'm sure it'll come to me before we wrap things up here. Another thing, at the end of every year, what I'm going to do is a complete summary of the year. The trades we made, the signings. Oh, free agency. That was it. See, I knew I'd remember. GM option, the signings. The signings we did on free agents, things like that. Oh, Ian White, is he a two-way defenseman? Yeah, no, we would like, well, a two-way defenseman like Ian White. He wants 4.7. Yeah, that's way too much. Vinny Prospel, there's your playmaker left wing. He wants 2.4. We'd have to make some trades before we could sign him. Wojtek Wolski, we do not need that. Simon Gagne, no. I think Vinny Prospel, he wants 1 year at 2.4. I would give him that. And he would be a competitive player for that second line. All right, that would look not too bad there, actually. And here's your fourth line, or no, we need a fourth left wing grinder or a right wing two-way forward. So let's take a look at left wings. Any grinders available? Beijing is, I believe. He's a grinder, 74 overall. Blake. These guys want very little money too. Marchinick? No. What about right wingers? Right wing two-way forward. Milan Hajduk sniper? No. Chad LaRose is a grinder. Kolonis, playmaker. Parsi, playmaker. Chichu, sniper, yes. Anthony Stewart, power forward? No. We don't want any of those guys. Myers, grinder. Yeah, you know what? We may have to settle for calling up a two-way forward center to play that spot. So that's probably what we'll do there, guys, if we decide to push ahead. So there's the free agent list. Goalies, nobody. DiPietro, so nothing. Anybody with potential available? We've got Lekkinen, left winger. 4 Red Stars, might be worth it to sign him just to have a little bit more potential in the system. Michael Sawyer, defensive defenseman, 3.5 Yellow Stars. He's about to cap out. Radislav Day, he's 25 years old, 64 overall. No, these guys are too close. Oh, Bobby Sanguinetti. Not a bad option for us, actually, Bobby Sanguinetti. I mean, look at all his... He's got pretty good attributes for a defenseman. He's got decent potential. We could give him a shot. He could end up on the last pairing. And Jan Mursak. Remember Jan Mursak had an absolutely amazing shot. 25 years old. We'll probably sign him. He might be a nice depth sniper for us. Give us a little bit of value. Give us a little bit of value. I know we got a lot of right wings, but I feel like we can make some definite moves here to balance things out a little bit more, and then have him in the fold would be really nice. All right, guys, that's where I'm going to leave you. Let me know what you guys think. I'm guessing you're probably going to say that we are a playoff team, and that we need to just add a couple pieces and pray that the goaltending holds up. I think that most likely what will be is a cusp team. Will be a team that does okay during the year, and then we're going to decide whether or not we're buyers or sellers at the trade deadline, okay? So that's what we're going to do for this year, I think. But you guys let me know what you think, all right? Again, I apologize for the Colorado Avalanche, how that turned out. Not my intention. I really, really, really wanted to finish that up. But you know what? It's a new leaf. It's a new story here with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We already have some players here that have some good potential, just kind of like the Colorado Avalanche. Now we just need to put some pieces together to finalize an elite team. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Target Audience. You guys have a good one.